Awesome. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of ALLO. We are changing up the formatting a little bit. But first, to get started, I'm Alec.
And I'm Logan.
Today, we're going to be doing a little bit more of a talk show-esque type show. So I will be the host, and I'll be asking Logan about his interest of choice today, and then we'll switch off every week. So today, your general topic or the interest you wanted to go over is like cars, vehicles, technology in them, stuff like that, or just like how they work.
Yeah, so cars, basically.
Yeah.
My interest in them.
So I am not one who's particularly like, I'm not a car guy, but I know that you and your brother and some of my other friends like just know and have this large interest around the vehicle world. So what brings you into that?
So I will throw up an image on the screen up here to kind of demonstrate what kind of got me into it, and that is Gran Turismo, the first game. So this is we kind of zoom in here. So this is the first Gran Turismo that came on PlayStation 1, and my dad, working for Sony, he was kind of the he kind of introduced us to PlayStation and games, and we weren't allowed to play a lot of shooters growing up, obviously, because growing up in a religious household, that was kind of their prerogative, is got to eliminate the violence from our lives as much as possible. But we did play Spyro, other games like that.
Same.
But Gran Turismo was the most popular because it kind of developed and, how would I say, like festered our love for cars in general, especially my brother Landon and I. So racing in that game, you know, I was kind of young. I was born in 1999. So when this came out in 1997, we had it for a while. But we eventually got a PlayStation 2, and that kind of helped us develop a more, like, I was older and I got to know it a little bit more, and that kind of helped me, I don't know, be like, oh, cars are actually really cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of superficial, though. It's not like I know everything there is to know about an engine or about the motor or about the way the car functions physically. But the interest is still there, and eventually I would like to know how to replace an entire engine block, but
That'd be awesome.
we'll get there.
So speaking of Gran Turismo, you've been playing the new one, right? Or the newest one. What is your favorite vehicle in the newest Gran Turismo?
So that depends. Like, there are a few vehicles that I really enjoy talking, like being able to play with on video games. Obviously, I would love to have them in real life, but we'll get to that point later in life when I'm fully loaded with
super
cash.
rich.
Yeah, but I think from the get-go, there was one car, and I'll throw it up here, that has really interested me, and it is this one.
Wow.
So if you guys can see this is the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. So this came out in 2002, and it is a Japanese-made car. Really, basically, it's super hard to get here. It's right-hand drive, and it was really only made in Japan, never really released in the United States. But the way that it drives, well, in video games at least, I don't know in person, but it looks amazing. It's very, like, unique, you know?
In like what sense?
Well, like, it's classic. It became a classic because of how difficult it was to get it.
Interesting. Okay.
Especially because it's only Japanese, and so you can't really, like, buy one here.
Yeah. You'd have to get like the steering wheel moved over or something like that.
Not exactly. There's this import rule. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll have to look it up later and come back about it. But so they made a couple other iterations before this, and they can only be imported into the United States after 25 years after the release date of the car.
Interesting.
So There's one that came out in 1997. I think it's the R33. And this, what does that be? That would be, last year was when you can finally purchase it and import it here. I mean, obviously people still do it, and that's kind of illegal based on this policy that the United States has. But
yeah,
but it's
the rich people that are collecting these cars, they're gonna figure out a way to get it anyway.
So this car runs like $250,000.
Really?
Because I mean, a base price I think is probably like 60,000, 70,000.
But it's like a 25-year-old car. That's
and it's very collectors.
Yeah.
Like,
high mark.
Everybody wants this car.
Interesting.
Or like tuning for JDM cars for just to have it. And I would love to buy one of these. You can see it's right-hand drive here.
Yeah.
And they're driving on the right side of the road. So this is probably somewhere outside of Japan.
This is probably in the United States.
Might be in the United States.
I mean, you got Bob Ross driving the car.
Exactly. Look at him.
So that's so interesting.
But it looks great, especially in this color. I would love to have one. But yeah.
I mean, so there's more models of this. I'm guessing there's a new model every year. Or there was.
Let me actually just show it to you.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could have a right side vehicle in the United States, but I saw a guy the other day in a car driving right side, which is wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is the new one.
Oh, wow.
Let me see if I can get a better image. So this is like the one that came out. I guess, yeah, this is 2018. This is like the new iteration of the Nissan GTR. Not as pretty, in my opinion, but yeah. So this era of car was kind of my introduction. They had this in Gran Turismo 4. This is another game I was going to show you. So this is Gran Turismo 4, played on the PlayStation 2. Oh, okay.
Well, I guess that's
about a bit.
That's it.
Oh, here we go. Maybe a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah, this is what we played on the PlayStation 2 when we had it. PlayStation 3, we had Gran Turismo 5. And then I got a PlayStation 4. There was Gran Turismo Sport.
Have you played every Gran Turismo?
Not every. I think I haven't played GT2 or 3.
True.
Or 6. But 7 came out on PS5. I've been doing that. But it's not limited to Gran Turismo alone. Let me just see. I'll just throw this image on here. I don't have an image for the game, but recently I got a PC, and I really wanted to get like a racing game, and obviously Gran Turismo was not on there, but Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of that, it's basically like a open world racing game. Testing. Okay, actually it does work when I do that. We figured out that I just have to hit the microphone.
Yeah, janky
microphone. But so yeah, and it's super fun because I can just pick whatever car I want. They have over like 450 cars.
Really?
In there.
That's incredible. How much does like a steering wheel go for?
Oh, if I had a steering wheel, that'd be nice. That's the next step.
Yeah.
Buy a steering wheel. I think it's like $250 for a nice one, decent one.
A decent one.
And then if you want to do the whole rig with the seats and the shifter and then
the pedals and everything like that.
And that's a whole different story. But and then like the curved monitor.
I was about to say, what's the dream rig for racing for you?
VR headset with a wheel. Yeah, because high quality VR headset. PSVR 2 just came out. And they Gran Turismo 7 made an update for it where you can use the PSVR 2 headset, and seen some videos of it, and it looks great. It looks really good. And just some little technical knowledge for you guys. The PSVR 2 uses this thing called, I don't remember what it's called. It's like something about focus, where it tracks your eye movement and it blurs everything outside of that. So
like real vision, how you have kind of like the peripheral vision.
Yep.
That's wild.
So it doesn't have to render so many pixels all at once.
Yeah.
You can just focus on exactly what you're focusing on. Everyone else who's watching you play notices it. It's very noticeable. But when you're playing, nobody can notice it. Not that I've played it,
That's
but
so wild.
I've watched some videos about it, and that's kind of what they're describing, and it's really cool. So playing that with a steering wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the VR headset where you're in the actual car with the steering wheel. Obviously, you won't get the same like feel because the shifter's in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe using paddle shifters instead.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is insane.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast the other day where they do a lot of gaming stuff, and these guys were talking about how they just tried Gran Turismo and PSVR 2, and one of the guys like accidentally crashed into the wall at the start of the race, and he like jumped because it felt like he was submerged in it like fully.
Yeah, I mean, that's the next level of gaming, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So in dealing with cars, that would be awesome, because I think there's a lot of testing done.
Yeah.
Like for Formula drivers and for other drivers, they test with a gaming rig. But to be able to have a VR headset along with that, because
yeah,
I don't know that they use that, but yeah.
That's incredible if like racers like actually use these gaming rigs to practice. That's incredible. So like going kind of off that, where's the future of like vehicles and cars right now? Like what are the things that are coming up that are really exciting, or like the new stuff that's happening?
I don't know, there's a lot of electric vehicles coming out, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion on electric vehicles is like, I like them. I think it's really cool that we have an electric vehicle. It's mostly cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very quick, but you miss the sound of an engine.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, they couldn't care less.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, to hear an engine roar when you're driving and the actual shifting of the transmission, it's like you don't get much elsewhere.
And like you can feel it too.
Yeah.
Like when you're in the car, you can feel the engine. Like it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And you can like kind of tell which car is which based on the engine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. But they're still launching and releasing a lot of gas powered cars that are very cool. I was actually gonna look this up, but Lamborghini just came out with a new replacement for the Aventador.
Really? Wasn't that like their highest selling?
Yeah, it was the most popular. So
wow.
Let's see if I can get it. So here it is. It's called the Revuelto, and it has a V12 and a hybrid. It's a hybrid, but the electric motors are like very small. You can't really get very far, but
True.
Used to help with power.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it does. Holy cow.
Here's the rear image. Obviously not in my price range, but it's got a 6.5 liter V12 engine, 0 to 60 in like 2.6 seconds, and then 1,000 horsepower. So this is kind of like the new that's coming out. They're still releasing gas-powered cars,
mm-hmm.
but the fad is definitely electric vehicles.
So
Tesla,
So do you think that most people that aren't like into cars, do you think that the trend will be that gas-powered cars will be more of like a hobby thing, and electric vehicles will be like everyone's usual day-to-day?
It's hard to tell right now because
mm-hmm.
They're just too expensive, in my personal opinion. The least, like, you have the Chevy Volts and or is it Volt?
I think it's a Volt with a V.
I think they have both.
Oh, really?
I don't remember. Anyway, that car, those cars, and then you have like the BMW ID small. Those small, tiny electric cars that run for like $18,000,
mm-hmm.
and that get you like 100 miles.
But still, like $18,000. I don't know. It still seems like a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the cheapest like value car, brand new, gas-powered car with like decent range and reliability is about 20,000. But you get like 350 miles on one tank of gas.
Mm-hmm. But
So
you're
there's some
saying with these lower end electric cars, it's only like it's significantly less miles on a tank.
And it's just
On a charge.
the most popular cars right now
Mm-hmm.
are just a little too expensive for most people.
Like the Teslas.
Tesla Model 3 is the smallest and the cheapest Tesla, but the lowest you can go with rebates and everything is about $40,000.
Really?
So ideally, having a Tesla car, a Tesla type electric vehicle
Mm-hmm.
with like 350 miles of range and all of the important factors, fast charging, for $25,000 would be the ideal. I think that's when everyone really will
If it was 25.
merging into that electric car network.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. With a $40,000 car that's a Tesla, do you think that it makes its money back when because gas is significantly less because you're just paying for charges? If you're just going around town, like you're not going on long car trips, like you're just using it as your day to day, do you think it kind of makes up for that price?
Oh, absolutely. I would say that. I know that electric vehicles are the most efficient at low speeds, unlike a gas-powered vehicle, where you kind of want to sit in that 60 to 80 miles per hour range to get the highest amount of efficiency out of your gas. Electric vehicles run the opposite. If you drive higher speeds, you're going to use a lot more energy, as we know.
True.
So having it as a commuter in town, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just charge it at home, come home every day, just plug it in at home, and then you're good. The inconvenience comes when you want to do a road trip, finding all those car networks, supercharger networks that Tesla has, or finding a charger to do every 350 miles, and then
Just
sitting there. It takes a long time sitting there for like 30 minutes to an hour. Instead of with gas, you go in there, pump for 5 minutes, grab a drink, and leave.
It's true.
But with electric vehicles, it's not there yet. I think it will get there.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure is not there yet.
It's like maybe like 10, 20 years out, something like that.
More likely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a question that I just had, kind of differing off from the electric vehicle side, is there a drive, road trip wise, is there a drive that you have heard of or have wanted to do, or even just one that you would like to do somewhere in the world, where it's like you pick a location to start at and you pick a location to end at?
So yeah, there's a few in America, but one most popular is called the Transcontinental Road Trip, basically. And you just drive from Los Angeles to New York. And there's a ton of people who've done that drive. They've done a lot of tests on that for like efficiency tests. But obviously that would be cool. I'm from California. We're both from California.
Mm-hmm.
So to start, kind of in my hometown and then drive all the way across the United States. Hitting like the best locations would be cool too.
Yeah.
Europe also has one too.
Really loud organ music in the background.
I don't know that they can hear it though.
I don't think so.
But we can hear it. So Europe has one too. I don't exactly know what it hits, but it'd be cool to do that. I served a mission for my church in Italy, so to do like a North Italy to South or vice versa.
Like the countryside just looks really pretty.
Exactly. Japan would also be cool to go to. Japan is just, the culture there is amazing, and it's so picturesque.
Along these lines, we watched Top Gear, right?
Right.
When back in the day, they had those awesome like road trips, but they were more sketchy, like just really just dangerous.
Yeah,
sketchy.
they picked like really janky cars in like a certain type of era, and then they drove them across the desert alone.
Yeah, and they would like, the cars would be constantly breaking down.
Yeah, or they would be like modding them, making them into boats or something. If you've seen Top Gear UK, which is the only valid one to watch, then you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
And I was just gonna ask, so I know you said you don't know exactly like the ins and outs of every piece of a car, but if you did and you could do it, they like build like they build, would you do that? Would you do a trip like that?
yeah, I don't know about the same trip, but I would definitely mod a car and take it on a trip. So I actually, to kind of talk about my personal car history, which is very limited, I started driving on a Toyota Sienna van.
Mm-hmm. Like all high schoolers do.
Like all high schoolers do, your mom's minivan. And
Yeah.
then I got a Honda Civic. So it's the one that Landon, my brother, drives. And it was great. And eventually I left on my mission. And Honda Civic 2012, the Toyota Sienna's 2006, just so everybody knows. And then when I got back from my mission in Italy, I took my parents' Prius. They gave that to me. Broke down after 6 months with a broken head gasket. So that was like a $4,000 or $5,000 fix because the engine block was kind of shot as well.
Wow.
But luckily I was able to sell that for about $2,000. And then I just recently started making payments on a Toyota Corolla hatchback 2023. So I'm excited because it's kind of like been, I kind of want like a JDM car. Do you know what JDM means?
No, I don't. What is JDM?
I think I'll have to look up the exact meaning. JDM meaning. Basically, it's like turning it into Japanese like modded car. So Japanese domestic market.
Okay.
You can see a Nissan GTR we were talking about before right here. So references the fact that these cars are meant for Japanese public and thus have specific features custom tailored for the population there. But basically it's like really tricked out, low sitting like sedans. Cars you wouldn't expect to be tricked out.
Yeah.
But
Things that you can do just incredible stuff with. Cars that you can do incredible stuff with. Right?
yeah, let me see if we can find another image. So here's a Supra. It's a Toyota Supra. It's a Japanese-made car, but
Mm-hmm.
this is not the stock image, what it looks like. Obviously, they put new wheels, front splitter, rear spoiler. The spoiler might have come with it. But needless to say, I would like to trick out my Corolla, put some new wheels,
Yeah.
and maybe tint the windows, maybe put a spoiler, maybe change out the exhaust to make it sound better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of stuff I would like to do, and then go on a road trip or something with that.
That would be legit.
So I'll try to look up some images of tricked out Corollas.
Yeah. One thing I've always wanted to do is make like a safari style vehicle, like take like an old sports car and turn it into like I don't know, like an off-road.
Yeah.
Have you seen things like that before?
Yeah, I love those. I think it's great. Just for the viewers, here's the tricked out Toyota Corolla.
Dude, that's actually legit.
See if I can get a better image of it. Well, maybe not. But this kind of style
Mm-hmm.
is kind of sick to me.
Yeah.
But
That's like straight out of Tokyo Drift right there.
right.
That's great, dude.
Anyway, to answer your question, yeah, I think those are really cool too. If you had like a Bronco,
Mhm.
and then you made it like put a snorkel on it, put some really big tires on it,
Yeah.
something that you can really rough it,
Mm-hmm.
like the wilderness, get off road for a while.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've never had, like, a dream car except for one that comes to mind. My dad used to have a Datsun 280Z, and so I was looking into those, and I found a few Safari versions of that. So if you want to look up just, like, Datsun 280Z Safari, it just looks like the sickest thing I've ever seen. Like, any one of these, that one's great. Yeah.
Yeah, look
Like,
at that.
that's just so dope.
That looks awesome.
Because it's lifted and it's got whatever that is right there, the caps.
Yeah, the
And-
fenders.
Yeah, the fenders and the grill in the front. Like, it just looks so. I just imagine going out to the dunes and just like riding
Oh
them
yeah,
like
tuning, like kind
Mhm.
of what is that called? there's a word for that. But anyway, yeah, that would be sick.
Have you seen the tires that they use for driving on sand? It's
like
really
bald.
Yeah, it's like bald, and they're like have like these weird fins on it. It's super interesting. Wonder how it works.
Yeah, that looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really cool to do too. Kind of
Yeah.
mod an older car, because Datsun, they're classic, but or something of that like form factor.
Is there like
a
another
Safari.
car? Is there a car that comes to mind for you that you want to trick out like this?
Actually, so I always loved Porsche. They've kind of been a very.
I feel like they're underrated. Honestly, like most people are like talking about like your
Lamborghini,
Lamborghinis, your
Ferrari,
Ferraris,
yeah.
and stuff like that. But Porsches, they're beautiful.
Yeah, so the Porsche 911 GT3 RS is kind of one of my favorites, but this is their Dakar 911.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a. Let's see if I can get a better image of it. So here's an older version, kind of that same type,
Mm-hmm.
but there I can't find the image that I'm looking for. I guess this is it. So it's basically
Wow.
just like a regular 911, but made
Mhm.
for like the dunes.
That's sick.
Because they used to have, there's this race called the Dakar, where they would race high-end cars on
sand.
on just sand, the dirt. I don't really know any specifics about it, but that's basically it. And
Mm-hmm.
that would be really cool to do. To make a car that would be able to withstand that. But yeah, I think that's kind of where I stand. I mean, Porsches would be nice to have, but my price range is not there yet.
So you just said that you like Porsches, but we were also looking at Lamborghinis earlier. And that other car, is there a brand, if you had to stick with one, that you would say like you like the most? Like a majority of their cars you like better than others.
That's a good question. I don't know. I really like McLaren. They're just not high quality, reliable. Like there's been stories of like fenders falling off and stuff just not being made properly.
Dang.
But like for reliability, or for like personal use, or for like fun.
For fun.
For fun. That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love Porsche. I think they have some really amazing cars. The 911 is awesome, but I mean, oh gosh.
So let's do this then instead. If you had to choose in your garage, these are the only cars you could own.
Right.
You got 3 cars. Doesn't matter what brand.
Oh, okay.
Only cars you can own. So that means like if you have a family, you got to think about that, but also fun, like activities that you like to do in your cars. You get 3. What are you doing?
Okay, so if I have 6 people in my family, I would get a Toyota Sienna. No. I mean, Toyota Siennas are great, actually. But I would love to have a Bronco.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What does that look like? I don't know what that looks like.
So the new Broncos are kind of sick. The old Broncos are cool, too. But see if I can find... yeah.
Whoa.
So this is the new Bronco. This would be cool for just, like, family use if I had a family. But they've got some classic looks right here. But yeah, this would be really cool to have.
That
Or just like a
sick
Suburban. I honestly don't really care. But
yeah,
for other cars, I would have to go with the sorry, let's go back to this one.
Yeah,
Obviously this one for one of them.
it's your
And
fun
then the Porsche
vehicle.
911 GT3 RS or Porsche 911.
Mhm.
Those would be great to have.
Yeah, that's a pretty stacked garage.
Maybe an electric car too,
Mhm.
just for efficiency.
So how much is that altogether? Let's add it up.
So Porsche 911 around, if I want the model that I want, it's around 200,000. This one, it depends, but probably 150, 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Bronco runs like 60,000. So 150,000, 200. That's like 420,000.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's easy.
That's easy.
Easy money.
That's like jump change. But yeah, what about you? What What kind of cars do you find interesting?
There's like a Porsche family car. I think it is Porsche. Pretty sure. It's like a hatchback.
Oh, a hatchback.
I think.
Like a Cayenne?
I have no idea what it's called. All I know is I've seen that before, and I thought that looked nice. And it's like can fit 5. That looks nice. Fun car. I don't know anything. I don't know. I've always wanted that Datsun 280Z. Video just cut out. It's fine. I've always wanted a Datsun 280Z.
For our audio listeners,
You're getting a little extra.
You get a little extra than the video.
Yeah.
But video has just cut out, but that's okay.
That's okay. I just need a bigger SD card.
Okay.
That's really it. But those are the only 2 cars that come to mind. I love Porsches just in general, so I'd get, like, if I could get another car, just like any Porsche, really.
For reference, what do you drive?
What do I drive right now?
Yeah.
I drive a 2000 Lexus RX 350.
2000?
2007.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, 2007. It's your mom car, your typical mom car.
My mom doesn't drive that car. I'm just kidding.
Mom, definitely doesn't look.
Your mom drove that car.
My mom drove that car. And you like.
Do you like it?
It's a car.
You're kind of that prerogative.
That's kind of my mindset.
That's the difference between me and you, is that
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's not just a car. It's got to be something I want.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I would really spend a lot of money on.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, for me to save up for a car right now would take a long time. So maybe when I get to the point where, like, saving up for a car would take like a year, I think I'd get something a little bit nicer and something that I really want. But right now it's like not even in my like ballpark. So I just don't even think about it. My car works, and that's kind of where I am.
That's a good way to live.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So is there any other aspects of like cars or vehicles that you find interesting?
No, I think that's kind of it. I mean, cars in general are very particular. You have a very particular group of people who are interested in cars. Most people are like you, or they just don't really care either way, whether or not they have a car, whether or not what kind of car they have.
True.
My dad is like that. My mom likes new things, but she doesn't really care what kind of car she drives. So, but me and my brother Landon, we're both kind of the same group. I just really enjoy a nice car. I want something that's fun to drive. I want something that looks good. I'm a fan of having new technology in it. I don't want to go to the world where we are not driving anymore, where it's just autonomous.
Yeah.
I'm very opposed to making that the universal idea. I think driving is fun, not in traffic, but driving in general is fun.
Yeah.
On beautiful roads.
I'd agree. Yeah.
And beautiful
100%.
escapes. I think, yeah, that's kind of what I want to have happen. So
well, sweet. Putting it out there for the universe to take hold of.
Take that, guys.
Take that. Well, thanks for coming on the show today, Logan. We're going to sign off. Unless there's any other notes you had or anything else you wanted to talk about.
Nope. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for hopping on the ALLO pod. We're probably going to do a every 2 weeks schedule. So look for us usually every Saturday or Sunday on the weekends, every 2 weeks starting today. So, yeah. Yeah. So this has been ALLO Pod. You can find us on anywhere you can find podcasts, really. And if you want the video version, or if you want to check out our shorts, then you can check us out on YouTube on the Good Snack channel. But that's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Peace.